was so much fun, man. These kids are so onto it. Gross! And I'm like, I know, I know. Hey, my name is Aleks Paunovic, and this is Set Stories with Collider. One of the first days is when we were on location, Upper British Columbia in Canada, called Osoyoos. And in the summer, it's like a desert. It's like insanely hot. And I have prosthetics on. I have this cowlick, this huge head, because I play Polyphemus. He's like 12 feet tall, 900 pounds. And so I have this amazing, amazing costume and prosthetics. There was a lot of running up a hill and running down a hill and a fight scene. All of that within those days that we were shooting there. And the whole team there was so great because one, because of the costume, and I'm 6'5" myself. So because of the costume, I couldn't fit in the cast chair. The first thing they brought was a wheelbarrow. So I got to get in a wheelbarrow and lean, and then they brought a Gator. So they brought a Gator as my set chair, and I got to sit in that, and my feet are like size 30. Seeing some of the pictures that people would walk by and go, oh my God, this is hilarious, because I'm literally way in the back, a massive dude, feet hanging off, and holding an umbrella because of the sun. So it was just a hilarious moment to see. But everyone was there trying to take care of me, giving me as much water as I could, and then being careful not to drink too much water because then I would have to take off this stuff. Annabelle, we have this awesome fight scene by this tree. She kept on stopping saying, I can't believe how big you are. And that, like, if I did a certain move, a lot of of sweat would just drop right out of my neck. And she would be like, gross. And I'm like, I know. I think each day I probably lost about 7 or 8 pounds, if not more, because of how hot it was in there. And then once I would take stuff off, there was a crack because I was sweating too much. They would open it up to re-glue it, but they would have to let all the sweat drip out of my cowlick. That to me was extremely difficult. Remember lines, getting into the fight scene, and a lot of the running, but it was so much fun, man. It's about 5 hours. 5 hours in the chair. It's one of those things where you just got to breathe through it and chill. I just got to say the special effects and makeup department were just like extremely professional. They were on point with everything. All the little pieces that had to be added to the face prosthetic and to the costume and the feet and the hands, they were there along the way, but it took about 5 hours to get on point, and then takes about an hour to take everything off. And that's the thing, like by the end of the day, it's melting off me because there's so much sweat going on, and they were always touching up, making sure it was on point. So it all depends what time I get there, but I'm definitely there like 5 hours before everybody else. I get my coffee, get my breakfast, stroll up there. Good mornings to everybody. Just sit there and chill. They have great music playing and just kind of get into the character as it goes. Some of the cast that would hear that Polyphemus is being made up, and they'd stick their head and like, oh man, that's so cool. Walker and those guys would come in just like, this is going to be so much fun. They're just phenomenal actors and people on the show. All those kids are just great. I was just thrilled to be a part of it. It was just an extremely fun process. I've done prosthetics before. Percy Jackson has it dialed in to where it's really not as uncomfortable as you would think. My character is, 12 feet tall, so we have to do a lot of forced perspective. If I'm looking straight ahead, the camera's on the side, and the actor that I'm looking at is literally 8 feet closer to camera, so it looks small and I look huge, and vice versa, right? Me and Grover had to do a lot of that. Those were like unexpected moments because it got to the point where we were doing the scene and you can only sense the peripheral of the other actor. We're basically looking at tennis balls where our eyes should be exactly. But I could feel his performance. I can feel his cadence and his intonation. We kind of fed off each other that way. So when we look at playback, we were like, oh man, that totally worked. That was awesome. But it was also, it's just a weird way to act when you're acting to a tennis ball and trying to get the emotions across and the threats across. That was one of the weirdest things to kind of get on point. But when it worked, what you'll see, it totally works. It looks phenomenal. The beautiful work of the camera department to really capture those moments, and the stunt department to show near misses are basically shows the fight in a general way. And so the way they choreographed it really showed the aspect of the not forced perspective is what you're going to see. My cave. The production design team did such a phenomenal job with what my home is, where a lot of the scenes take place. That was one of my favorite because, again, they had two different ideas. When the kids are in there, everything's quite massive to them. And when I'm in there, it's just normal. And they literally made two exact sets. One for the kids and how everything was so gigantic, and one for me, how it fixed my body. Production team, stellar work, 360 around. Everywhere you look, the little intricacies of what Polyphemus would have in that cave. And I made sure that I took a walk around and just got to really absorb where this character has lived for the last thousands of years, what he's collected. And it was great. You literally feel like you're within it. There's a lot of dialogue in some spots, and you just feel like when you're looking around that you are actually in the environment that you're in. And again, I can't say enough about the production design team and just even the camera crew. They just knew eye lines and they knew what I had to take in. It was such a fully rounded set that you can't help but get immersed into it. There's one section that I basically give a monologue in, and I knew that they were going to be cutting away some different looks, but I really wanted to get that monologue on point, just with tonality, inflection, emotion, without getting too big or anything. I just really wanted the audience to feel what he was going through in this piece. But that's the thing. I literally was going to set, man, I hope they give me time I hope they give me time. They gave me all the time in the world. I had so many takes. They were so generous with letting me find the character, because that's the other thing. You can learn the lines as much as you can at home, but there's nothing like getting into the costume and then being in the world, and then it's fresh. Like, you screw up a bunch just because it's a totally different environment and you're in a totally different wardrobe and costume. So no matter how much you prepare, you need the time in the environment to really kind of sink your teeth into it. And they allowed me that. They really respected the actor. It's super playful. Everyone is incredibly playful, extremely serious. They love doing their work. One of the coolest parts of it was, like, on Sundays, they have an acting coach. His name is Andrew McElroy. Andrew McElroy, by coincidence, I've worked with other films as my coach to help me prep. And he is now the coach on Percy Jackson. So I already had an amazing relationship with him. And they would have, like, on Sundays, just a round table where they get to talk about character in the next episodes. And I was fortunate enough to drop into one of the round tables on Zoom. And I'm just like, these kids are so onto it. And Andrew is so prepared. They have so much respect for Andrew and his knowledge in the Greek mythology aspect of it. Andrew does his homework. He helped me so much with Polyphemus. And just to see the work ethic that these kids do. So when they get to set, it's play. And when it's time to, like, try a different way to do it, or something isn't landing, they're ready to work it and take it to the next level to where it would make sense for everyone and they can pivot and do a different performance. It all starts with them being super prepared before they get to set, which allows them to have fun and joke around and do their thing. Grover is, oh my God, that kid is hilarious. But I mean, it's everyone. Everyone's got their little bit of stuff. Dior is hilarious too. She's got such a sharp wit and she's funny. Yeah, Grover is one killing everybody. The thing that I always bring to set, that Andrew McElroy had he had basically a binder like this of Polyphemus and the Greek mythology and the history. It was super helpful, but there was this one page of basically how Polyphemus lives, what is his history, what was he hurt by? And having that on set, not only in my trailer, but I would bring it to my chair and I would make sure I look at it before I would go to work. And if it wasn't for that kindness of him putting this together, I don't think I could have gone as deep as I did with Polly because of the work that he helped me do. I don't buy it a lot outside of set, so when it comes to set, I'm all over it. Licorice. I just love the licorice that they bring to set. When I see it on set, I gotta have it. I gotta have it.